Well, hello, folks. Welcome back again. This is skill two. Oh my gracious me. I think this is one of the hardest skills for me to do, was inviting people to this opportunity. It terrified me to say, hey, John, it's Louis here. I've seen something exciting. Can I come and show you what it's about? And they say, what's it about? I didn't know what to say. We didn't have a system. There was just no system, and there was no uh, internet like today. You can just copy and paste. Can I send you a video about it? Or we had no little sample packs of products that we could give out to people. Oh, it was so hard. I was terrified. I tell you what, I think I spent my life with diarrhea the first 6 months because I was so nervous out there. So my heart goes out to you because I know this is a section that I had to conquer. I had to grow. How many times I phoned people? I want to tell you about one of my phone calls. It went something like this. I phoned this chap and I said, hello, yes, Cash, you want to make many thanks for my, and I'm hoping he didn't even know who it was. I was so scared. I was so petrified. And he said, yes. And I thought, oh, this is insanity. This is crazy. I don't even know if I want to do it. And he wants to do it. So that just absolutely petrified me, was the inviting section. And so we're going to be talking a bit about inviting. We're making it so much easier for you and so much simpler for you. You're going to love this. I'm really excited for you. I wish I had joined where you are right now, because we have got so much in place for you today that's really going to empower you. The first thing I want you to understand with this inviting is that this is an opportunity where you have to craft your story. Now, I never heard about this until I was a diamond. Never even heard about this, right? And the story goes something like this. Your past, your background, your struggle, what you didn't like, where you were in a situation that you didn't like. You found, what have you found? Your solution, and you see the future. So that story should be about 90 seconds long, as short and as to the point as possible. It mustn't be a long, drawn-out story. We call it an elevator story. So you can be in an elevate and you can elevate and you can actually tell your story. I actually recorded once. I put a camera in an elevator and I recorded my elevator story, and I can tell it in about 9 stories. So when the elevator is shooting up 9 stories tall. So let's have a look at this. My past. Let me give you a bit of my story. I was a diesel mechanic, and I was working really hard to be broke. I don't know if you know anybody like that. And I was so frustrated. I wanted to really own myself. So I've got quite a few stories. My first story goes like this. I meet somebody who's young, he's vibrant, he wants to become financially free. How do I know what he wants? Because I've asked him questions. Remember, part of the approaching is asking questions and listening and discovering the need. Now you can go in the direction that you want. So I meet this young person, and I give him a compliment. Let's say he's a waiter, and he's been serving me well. I say, man, you're a good waiter. They must pay you a fortune to work here. And guess what they might say? No, as a matter of fact, they don't pay me a fortune to work here. I said, well, have you ever thought about earning a second income or an additional income? And quite often they say, yeah, tell me more. And so I said, well, let me tell you my story. I was working really hard to be broke. I was getting up before I was finished sleeping. I'm trying to get into relate, to work for a boss that really didn't appreciate me, who didn't pay me what I was worth. I couldn't get the leave I wanted to spend with my wife and my kids, my family, my savior, to drive through traffic that I didn't enjoy. This was just so frustrating. And I suddenly realized I want to be like this for the rest of my life. And that is when I discovered an opportunity where you could earn yourself global residual income that costs you just a few pennies on the dollar to get going. And I got so excited about this opportunity that today our business is globally growing like crazy. We're so excited about the future. I tell you what, the future is amazing. That's a little business story. Let me give it to you again. I meet somebody as a school teacher, and I say, I'm so proud of you school teachers. They must pay you a fortune because you are really doing a great service for the community. I said, no, we don't get a fortune. I said, well, have you ever thought of earning an additional income? Tell me more about that. So, well, Let me tell you, I was working really hard to be broke when I just got so frustrated. I was getting up before I was finished sleeping to work for a boss who didn't really appreciate me, to drive through traffic that was driving me crazy. I couldn't get the leave I wanted. I was driving settled for cars, living settled for homes, going on settled for vacations, putting my kids in settled for education. I didn't want to live like that for the rest of my life. Giving my kids hand me down from child to child. And that was when somebody showed me an opportunity where you could earn yourself global residual income, where you could be free. You could get up in the morning when you finish sleeping, where you could own yourself, where you could look in the mirror in the morning and say, morning, boss, what are we going to do today? Where you could be earning while you're on a tropical island in the Caribbean, because you don't have to be there for your business to carry on functioning. Where somebody took me by the hand, empowered me, and equipped me and guided me to become financially free and to own myself. If I sent you some information, would you watch it? If I do, will you, and by when? So those are two little business stories. Let me give you a nutritional story. If I meet somebody and I ask questions, they've got health issues, I say, hey, let me tell you my story. I was 31 years old and I was really suffering, in and out of hospitals, doctor to doctor. They couldn't find they couldn't fix my health challenge. I was really worried about my future. And I got involved in the community of health people that taught me how to cook from scratch, how to eat organic, how to cut out GMOs out my diet, how to juice, how to prepare food, how to make quality choices, how to find good quality supplements. I got involved with a company that's got the only juice extracted, dehydrated, organically grown, non-GMO, vine-ripened, whole human food supplements on planet Earth, with human clinical trials published in peer-reviewed medical journals. And guess what? Here I am today, vibrant, healthy, energetic, top of the world, loving life, on no drugs, on no medication. If I sent you some information, would you review it? You see, that's my health story across there. So it's the past, your background, your struggle, this challenge you are going through. You found the solution and how you see the future. The next thing I want to show you over here is your background. What is your background? Were you a teacher? Are you an executive? Are you a construction worker? Are you a doctor? Are you a stay-at-home mom? Whatever it is, found the struggle. Now, don't be a big shot and try and find something special about you. The whole thing is to get people to relate to you. You get people to say, that's exactly where I am. I don't like getting up before I'm finished sleeping. I don't like the peak hour traffic. I don't like the lack of leave. I don't like my boss. I don't like the paycheck. I want to be free. So you want to make sure that you're trying to be relatable to the person that you're dealing with. And what didn't you like? You didn't like the low pay, the long hours, the hardness on your body. If you're a construction worker, something like a driving in peak hour traffic. Look at this. This would drive me crazy. Crazy. That would drive me crazy. To get up every morning before I'm finished sleeping to drive through traffic like that, right? Frequently sick. People got sick. If you work in the medical industry, my son-in-law's in the medical industry. Every time I phone, he's sick. Something. It's just so sad, right? No time for family fun. You want time for your wife and time for your kids. And we just spent a month in Africa. And before that, we were in Hawaii for 3 weeks. And before that, I can remember I was in the UK. And now guess what? We're off to California in a few days' time. And then I'm going down to the Caribbean. So exciting, right? Look at this across over here. Then you found the solution, right? I'm in business for myself, but not by myself. Flexible. That really got me because I'm business for myself. Somebody's going to take me by the hand. Somebody's going to empower me. Somebody's going to equip me. Somebody's going to direct me. Somebody's going to lead me to help me become What I'm not capable in doing it. Flexible hours, residual income, global income, travel the world, freedom, freedom. Do not ask these to be free. Do not ask these to own yourself. Do not ask these to get up in the morning when you finish sleeping and say, good morning, boss, when you're shaving. Ha! Freedom, right? Good and ask these, look out your window. It's beautiful, big green grass in the middle of winter outside there. Family, community. You want to be involved with the family. It's got community. What create a legacy? Personal growth. Wow, I love that. Personal growth, becoming a better you, right? Becoming more what God created you to be. So exciting. What about work from home? How awesome is that? Wouldn't you like to work from home? Absolutely incredible to be able to work from home. Here I am in my office, fireplace in front of me, beautiful, nice big office, beautiful manicured lawns out there. You know how exciting that is? And you say, hey, but that's because you made. No. I had nothing. I started with nothing. I was so broke, I couldn't pay attention. I was so broke, if I walked past the bank, the alarm went off. I was frustrated. I remember seeing the sticker that said, I owe. Everybody I know I owe. I didn't want to live like that. So look at this over here. What about better health, energy, vibrancy? So you want to just try and think of all the better things. And so here's the next thing is don't invite to yourself. Point. Don't be the expert, because if you're the expert, then people say, oh, I need to know as much as this person. You see, if I approach somebody, guess what I do? I send them a video. I just did a meeting for somebody in the UK a few minutes ago. Guess what I do? I send them a video. I said, watch this video. If you want to find out more, and so basically, I send the video. This is what I say. If I do, will you and by when? If I send you this video, will you tell me what you like best about it? And what time we set up the time? They must see you setting up the time straight away. Because if they see you setting up the time straight away, they say, oh, this person's serious. I better watch the video. And I'm going to ask them, what do they like best about it? Okay, so you invite to a person. So you mustn't invite to yourself, invite to a person. Invite to a third party who has credibility when you don't. So when I say to a person or a tool, very important, a person or a tool. So you want to invite to a third party who has credibility when you don't. So you say you're brand new. So, and I want to try and help you understand. Let's say, for example, I find a pastor. I'm going to invite him to a pastor. If I find a farmer, I'm going to invite him to a farmer. If I find a chiropractor, I'm going to invite him to a chiropractor. If I find a nurse, I'm going to invite him to a nurse. And so if I find a doctor, I'm going to invite him to a doctor. So this is so important. So what are your options? Your upline, meeting. So you can invite them to your leader, or you can invite them to a in-home meeting, or you can invite them to a Zoom online meeting, or you can invite them to a video, send them a video. That's what I've just done to the lady in the UK, sent her a video, right? What about audio? Just send them an audio. Say, hey, I listened to this audio. It's really stunning. You could benefit from it, right? What about a webinar? Let's get on a web. What about social media? Come on, let me get and invite you to the site on social media. I was in church on Sunday, and guess what? There was a lady there in church. She comes, she says, man, I found you on social media, and I really like what you teach. What a Zoom podcast. What about brochures? Get them, invite them to a little brochure. Can I send you this hard copy? Print it out. Educate yourself. What about booklets? This is the kind of stuff that you want to invite them to. You want to network on purpose. How can I bring value to that person? You're always trying to think, how can I bring value? For example, I meet this person on a plane. He wants studying to be a pastor. Immediately, guess what I do? I connect them to somebody who was his age group, who's just studied to be a pastor, dynamic young man. That's the next thing I do. What else do I do when how do I add value and connect people across it? I meet somebody who's infertile. He wants to have children. He's desperate to have children. Guess what I do? I immediately network them with somebody who couldn't have children and today's got 3 children just by following some ideas that we recommended, by changing supplements and things like that. So be a connector. Connect them to someone who can fill a need. Very, very important. So you want to connect people to somebody who can fill a need. You want to pull them up. And John Maxwell always says that you can't help somebody out of a hole unless you stand up yourself. So you bend down and you lift them up out the hole. And so by lifting them out, you're lifting yourself up out that hole as well. Now look at this. All business is conversation. Start conversation. All you're wanting to do is wherever I go, I just open my big trap. This is over here. This. Your hand and your mouth is the key to your financial security and your financial future. So all business conversation. Just start conversation. This is a conversation I actually enjoy. I go into a bank. I say, "Are you from around here?" Guess that can take you anywhere. So, yes. I say, "How long you been here?" They said, "Oh, about 5 years." "Oh, where were you before you came here?" "Oh, we lived in Oregon." "All right. What brought you down here?" "So are you married? Did you and your wife come here? Have you got children? Are you from around here?" "Are you from around here?" Sponsored me so many people you can't imagine. Are you from around here? And then you want to find a way to connect with that person to keep their contacts. "Hey, I'm so glad you're in the area. I'm new in this area. Could I give you my number so that we can stay in contact?" Or you ask them, and people love to give you directions, something like that. You meet somebody and say, "You know what? Or even, where do I find a good hairdresser? Where do I find a good barber? Where do I find a good, a chiropractor? Where would I find a good dentist? Where do I find?" And let them give you directions. And I'll say, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Just in case I need more information, could we stay in contact?" And just meet people like that. I've only been in this area for a few months, and I was having a look, must have about 100 people from this area that I've met already that have given me their phone number, right? Ask them to connect, compliment them. This is a big thing. People want to be complimented. Speak about them. Don't speak about you. Uplift them. Don't uplift you. Compliment them. "Man, I like your shoes. I like your hair. I like your shirt, or like your whatever." Just compliment them. Find something good about them. Exhibit a sense of urgency. This is so vital. A sense of urgency. Like if I'm dealing with somebody, I've got a 6-hour plane ride. Guess what? I'm not going to start talking as I get on the plane. I'm just going to be a friend, be kind, be genuine, be thoughtful, pass them the stuff if they're in the window seat, or I'm going to go out of my way to try and be as pleasant as possible. And then when I hear the plane starting to come down, you can hear the engines change. You've got about 40 minutes left next to each other when that happens. Then you can start saying, "Hey, what do you do?" Now you start chatting. And eventually they're going to ask you what you do. And say, "Hey, I'm in this health industry, or I'm in the network marketing," something like that. We teach people how to run their own businesses, etc. And eventually they might say, "Hey, I'd like to find out more about that." And you can then say, "If I sent you a video, would you be interested?" And that's when you want to get the email or the phone number or something like that. Very, very important. Exhibit to sense. What about transition? Have you heard the news? Here's a very good one. I love that one. Have you heard the news? That's news about what? "Oh, did you see this study published in peer-reviewed medical journals? There's something that boosts your immune system by 37%. Wow. Did you know that only people who died from COVID are those that had a low immune system? Do you know that number one cause of cancer growth and spreading is a low immune system? Well, did you hear the news? Did you see that there's something out there that could published globally could lower inflammation by 68%? And nearly every disease in the world is related to inflammation. Have you heard the news? Do you know that there's a protein out there that's protoguarded that will actually increase the amount of protein that enters your body, not by 100%, not by 200, not by 300, but by 500%. Have you heard the news? Do you know that there's skin cream out there, that there's 13,000 chemicals they discover in skin cream? And there is a skin cream out there that doesn't have those 13,000 chemicals in, that's produced with the Cosmos certified organic seal and produced on a pharmaceutical license. Have you heard the news? Have you heard about the lipids and sterols, the 3 essential fatty acids? They say that nearly 90% of disease in the world is related to the inability of nutrient to be assimilated into the cells and toxins to be taken out the cell. And the lipids and sterols, now scientists got the Nobel Prize in chemistry for discovering the camera that researchers used in this. And what's so exciting about this is that it allows nutrient to enter the cells and the toxins to leave the cell, and which really can reduce nearly 90% of disease in the world. Have you heard the news? So I love this one here. Have you heard the news? Tell them about something special in your company that you can brag about, right? So the next thing over here is 4 questions. If I do, would you? If I send you a video, would you watch it? If I give you a sample, would you sample it, take it? If I give you a invite to an event, would you come? If I send you a invite to a Zoom meeting, would you participate? If I do, would you? And when do you think, if I send this video, when do you think you could watch it by? If I do, will you, and by when? So if I do, would you, and by when? Now they set up the time. And so what is the best time? Now you set up the time in your planner. You put it, they must see you doing all that, and then they're going to really take you seriously about it, right? And this is what you say, when they come back on, right? You want to ask them, what did you like best about it? That's very, very important, right? Two approaches to the hot market. So when they come back on, what did you like best about the product? What did you like best about the opportunity? What did you like best about the video? What did you like best about, what did you like best? What stood out for you the best for you? Because the brain, humans are so negative, they're going to go that way. So even when you're giving them the tool or sample, say to them, hey, I'd love to find out what you like best about it, so they can start thinking in that direction. All right, the next thing over here, two approaches for the hot market. Support approach. Would you support me for 1 month to support my product? In other words, you say to your mom, your brother, your sister, your cousin, hey, I'm really excited about this incredible product. Would you do me a favor and just use it for 30 days? Support me. If you don't like it after 30 days, I'll never bug you again, right? So one is that support me. The next thing is practice approach. I need to practice. You might not be interested, but would you give me half an hour so I can learn from my mentor? So it goes like this. Let's say your brother's name is Peter. Say, hey, Peter, I'm really excited about something. You might not be interested, but I am pumped up about it, right? I believe this is my key to freedom, my key to owning myself. My mentor lives out of town. Will you do me a favor and get on a Zoom call with me or an in-person meeting with me where I can just see how my mentor approaches somebody? So I'm really excited about that approach because it's not offensive. It's if the person says no, that's a real strange thing to say no to, because you're not asking him to look at the business. You're just asking him for half an hour of their time so that you can learn from your leader. Let me go through it again. You go to your sister, say, hey, Jane, I'm really excited about something. Jane, do me a favor. You might not be interested. I'm not worried about that, but I really want to learn about this thing. I'm so pumped up. There's a perfect storm out there. I'd love to learn. Can you please give me half an hour of your time now that I can learn from my mentor? Now, there's another approach over here. Let's say you've been around the block. You've been in this thing for 10 years, but you're not doing anything. It's about time to get off your butt and start doing something again. You say to one of your distributors or a whole bunch of your friends or whatever, say, John, you know, I've been in this thing for about 10 years right now, but there's a perfect storm happening out there. People are sick and tired of being broke. People are sick and tired of taking supplements that don't work. The company's on a whole new direction on social media, on creating websites and tools, and the team is so pumped up. We're going in places. It's unbelievable. There's a perfect storm out there. People are worried about their financial future. People are worried about their health. I'd like to start again. Would you please do me a favor? I want to just get on a few calls with my mentor. Will you give me half an hour of your life? Let me get on a call with my mentor that I can learn from him or her, get a refresher, how to approach people. Now, once you've learned that, right, then what's the next one you want to do over here, right? You want to say, can I practice? In other words, you get an older friend, say, John, I want to practice. Will you please do me a favor? Give me half an hour that I can practice on you. And at the end of it, will you critique me in a positive direction on what I could have said, what I should have said, how I should have said it in your heart? And that is one of the best ways to learn, is to get your people to say, please, I need to practice. Will you give me, you might not be interested, I'm sure you're not interested, but I need to practice. This is so, so important. And the next thing over here, are you looking for your 10 easiest customers or prospects? Now, there's 3 things you need to understand. When you're working with people, they need to have 3 things to build this business. Number 1, they need to be hungry. If they're hungry, they'll get out their comfort zone. If they're hungry, they'll be teachable. If they're hungry, they'll just make a decision to change their lives. If they're hungry, I tell you what, the facts don't matter if they're hungry. If the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. They'll find a way to make this thing happen. Can they afford it? It's quite important, right? But if they're hungry, they'll find a way to afford it. Let me tell you something. And I know somebody who sold all of his clothes, and his wife was so upset with him. These are poor people in Africa. He only kept one outfit of clothes, and he built his business. And his wife actually threw him out the house. That's how bad it was. She was so mad at him. But let me tell you something. When he went president team and started earning per week what he was previously earning per year, she got him back. She invited him back into the house. Then he went diamond, and he was earning a day what he was previously earning a year. And she was pumped up. I heard her talk at a conference about their business, how incredible their business was, right? So don't tell me you can't afford it, because you can make a plan to get involved with the company and the product and use the product. Coachable, willing to work. So 3 things. You need to be hungry, coachable, and willing. Those are 3 things. If you're not willing, nobody can help you. If you're not prepared to go out of your comfort zone and stretch and do what you are directed to do, what your assignments are, nobody can help you. Nobody can build a business for you. You have to get off your rusty dusty and go and do it for yourself, right? So, and you have to be coachable. You have to go back on a regular basis and be guided and equipped and led by your mentor. Coachable, willing, and hungry. Well, it's been incredible chatting to you. Thank you so much for being here with us on this trip. And that is the end of this skill. We can't wait to see you on the next skill. Have an incredible day, and God bless. So proud of you. Bye.